Players Forum is your source for informative basketball talk about mentorship, education, and community. The ball is in your court. This is your Players Forum.
What up, world? It's Coach Mike.
And I'm Agent Tee, and you're now tuned in to episode 3 of the Players Forum. Yay, we made it.
Yes, we did. I hope everybody is doing well out there in the world, staying productive, pushing forward, and just getting through this time that we're in.
Absolutely. And we want to thank you guys for supporting us by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing both on YouTube and also Anchor.fm listening platforms. We really appreciate you guys coming with us along this journey. We're having fun.
Yes. Thank you so much for the support.
Yes. So it is getting to that time of year again where international pro basketball players are looking to renew their contracts. And also we have our aspiring pros looking to secure their first contract opportunities. Now, our inbox gets flooded with players who are looking for jobs constantly. If it's not agent representation, it's like, hey, can you look out? Do you know about any job opportunities? But quite frankly, let me break it down like this. There's about 213 teams that are Fiba affiliated, and there's about just over 4,000 players already playing overseas. So that doesn't even include the influx of players that are coming out of college this year that are looking for their first job opportunities.
That's probably 10,000.
Right. So if you're looking for your first pro contract as a rookie, what should be your priority? Should it be the money or should it be the opportunity?
Yeah, for sure. So that's a loaded question to me. So because players and their expectations sometimes overshadows the reality of the industry and even what caliber player that they are.
Yep.
So
Very
you
true.
got to be honest with yourself, number one, to figure this out. Okay. So that's
That's all you're going to say right there. Yes. And actually, we're going to be discussing more of this with our special guest today, Nick Evans. He's an international pro basketball player, and he's also Coach Mike's ex-teammate. So you guys stay tuned for that. But for now, Coach Mike, from your experience, let's kind of break down what is the expectation versus reality when it comes to opportunity and money playing overseas.
Ooh. Okay, so first off, all rookies should always go for the opportunity and the destination. Okay, so opportunity number one is it's plain and simple. You got to get yourself going. You got to find a way to get yourself established somewhere. So take advantage of the opportunity. Don't chase the money. And then destination is most important as well because it's all about what league you want to get yourself in that best fits you, and then that opportunity for you to grow in that league and transition out of that league. Because sometimes guys will take advantage and try to get an opportunity or whatever, and then they get that opportunity, and then it'd be a low-level league where it's cool, but then it's not respected when you're trying to get to the next level in your career.
You know, you always say like France, right, is a good starting place for some athletes.
Oh yeah, if you get lucky enough, France is high level. So if you get lucky enough to get into that league, then and then make some noise on top of that. Right. And yeah, I mean, it should be an easy transition for you to get to the next level for sure.
And so what about your personal experience? You started off in Australia.
Yeah.
And you were actually going after the money.
Oh my goodness, man. Just being a young pup, how a lot of guys that we come across and just even peers of mine, we all came out thinking the same thing.
Right.
Where do I sign? I'm signing on the dotted line to get this bread, get paid. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily go like that.
Right.
And there's so many different layers to this where Division 2, Division 3 guys, NAIA guys, JUCO guys at some time, and then Division 1 players. So you got to figure out that lane first and then understand where you should end up. Right. But again, yes, I did go for the money. That didn't work out too well as far as like my road had to be a little longer than it should have been. But yeah, I mean, I started out in Australia. I got paid $200 a week. I was a replacement player coming from the ABA, so it was an opportunity.
Right.
And I jumped on that opportunity very fast.
But the mindset was, the expectation was like, okay, I'm about to go here and make this money, and then they about to push me up to the highest level, and my career is supposed to take off, and it actually just doesn't happen. That's the reality of it. It doesn't happen that way. I mean, you hear about those type of stories, but for the majority of players, and even players that have established careers, it just doesn't happen that way. As a rookie,
they'll tell you.
Yeah, they'll tell you. But as a rookie, you shouldn't even be focusing on the money. You should be focusing on the opportunity and building your resume, I guess. Yeah.
And getting established, man. That's it. Establishing the foundation, getting a name out there for yourself, whether that's going to tryouts, getting that experience. A lot of people kind of shut down tryouts to an extent, but what I think you can get the most from tryouts is experience. There's a lot of little things that you may not understand about the pro game and the pro level. My biggest thing that I've always seen in these tryouts is spacing. Understanding just spacing. Some dudes don't even know about the short corner, but we're not gonna get in all that. But,
right.
You know what I mean? But once you get those little jewels, and then it'll be a lot easier for you. You know, you get to expand your mind, man. It's a pro game, it's a chess game. So.
Right. And as a rookie, let's talk about the reality. What should you be expecting as a rookie coming in the gate?
A lot of no's. And that's okay. You're going to get turned down a lot. You know, your resume isn't strong. You don't have too much on it. You know, a lot of teams and general managers are going to say you don't have enough experience. Or he's not Division I player. He's Division II player. You get so many different aspects of this. Low salary offers, of course, as I said earlier, what my salary offer was. And then the last thing off the top would be potential scams. Yes,
I will say that because a lot of straight out of college guys and first year, rookies, they are the target for scams. I don't know why that is though, but they always seem to be the target.
They're the most naive. They have no experience. They have no knowledge of what's to be expected of this level. It's a business.
But my thing is, it's like, is there like a list of the graduating class where it's like they target these guys?
That's a good. I really don't know. I still want to figure that out. Now I know now the era we're in with Facebook, and then a lot of these Facebook groups can be easy ways to identify guys and say, okay, this kid, he, because I've seen it. Man, trying to get on. I'll take whatever. Here's this highlight. Here's that highlight. And it's just like, he's the perfect guy to say, you know what? Send me $250.
Right.
And A, B, and C will happen for you.
Yes.
And you get guys like that.
Yes. Well, we definitely are going to be breaking those scams down later on in another episode. But my question is like, what should a player, or when should a player start to focus on the financial opportunities?
Okay, so if you've gotten yourself established after a couple years, maybe 3 years, going into your fourth year, maybe fifth year, around that, you're a veteran. Again, if you were in a legitimate league where you were able to make some noise, and then most importantly, establish some accolades. Because I hear this a lot. Guys would be like, yeah, well, I put up 30 on this team, and I had 28 on the best team in the league. But did you come out of there as player of the year? Did you lead the league in rebounds? Did you lead the league in assists or steals? Or did you get a Eurobasket award?
Anything that can leverage.
Leverage to go back to your agent. Again, guys, this is a business. So if you're able to come back with some type of leverage and have something for your agent to talk about, then that's when we can get some business going and start throwing out some numbers that you may think you deserve to get. And then you can go from there.
Right. Because as an agent, we are your PR person. We are the
good ones.
Right. We are your marketing specialist. But if we don't have anything to market or, any write-ups to kind of sell you on, it makes it difficult, because coming out of college is one thing. You may have did, well in college, but you're entering into a whole new pool of competition of guys who can play just as good as you or even better.
I'll say this, kids, at every level, you start over.
Yes.
When you finish high school, you're going to college,
Yeah.
you start over.
Yeah.
You finish college, you go to pro, you start over.
Yeah.
So that's more of an ego check. If you can keep that in line and stay humble and be humbled, as you may say, you'll be just fine.
Yes.
Just work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. But okay, I'm ready to hear from Nick, and hear his story. He has an interesting story as well. And then given the climate now with COVID and how things are changing, week by week with international basketball, I'm interested to see how he's handling it and, how he's dealing with the experience so far.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right into it. Let me introduce to you the world, the big fella, my main man, 6'10", NBL champion, Nick Evans, to the show. How's life treating you, man?
Yeah, good. Just settling into the summer with the family. I'm back. Can't wait for the 3 kids. I'm working out with the local trainer, trains on NHL guys. So just settling into the summer. Looking forward to the fall.
Yeah, man, settling in, huh? So it's been a few months, man. How long have you been home? With all this pandemic going on.
I got back around my birthday, around April. I was in Taiwan, SBL Taiwan. I was playing with Frank Nitti, and we played actually.
Yes, sir. Main man Frank Nitti, Drew League's finest, man. That's what's up, man. How was that experience? You know what? We're going to get it. Let's save that question. We're going to get into that in a little bit, man. I want everybody to get a background on who Nick Evans is. So our subject for today is the expectations over reality. So I felt like you were the perfect person to talk to when it comes to this subject, man, because we're always talking, back and forth and keeping in touch and just kind of figuring out this journey. And I want you to elaborate on that a little bit. So before that, let's just give everybody a background on where you from, man.
Started off in southern Illinois, kind of like down near Kentucky, at the really tip of southern Illinois, about 7 hours south of Chicago. Started off in homeschool ball, believe it or not. I was raised, among the Amish. We weren't Amish, but we were raised out in the boonies. And so I started off with homeschool ball, talking like sweatpants, full-length shirts. Parents getting divorced, went to local high school, played 1 season at the local high school, played decent. My mom went to junior college, ran in Travis Steele. Actually went on to coach Xavier, who's the assistant coach at Wabash Valley. Sean Marion, went to Vincent University, so kind of like a junior college in between my junior and senior year. Ended up playing AAU with Eric Gordon, Derrick Rose, DeAndre Liggins, DeAndre Jordan. Went into my senior year, I transferred to Clarksville High School. Just transferred out of that small, the Amish had a bigger high school, a lot more kids, like 1,300. Was in a really competitive high school where Southern Illinois was. Played my high school ball there. Went on for 3 years at Southern Illinois University, redshirted my first year, learned a lot about myself. Went on Division II and then NAIA in Memphis. My pro career.
Jesus.
It's been quite a journey. Started off in homeschool ball, though, Mike, believe it or not.
Crazy, man, crazy. So I know you said a lot in that whole bit. How was it playing with those big time guys? Because I'm hearing names like Eric Gordon and D Rose, and those are Chi-Town boys, man. So explain to me, how was that being a big with those type of dynamic guards on your team?
My mom
so
recently got
early.
divorced from my dad, so we just kind of had to. She went to a little junior college and met this assistant coach. My mom would be going to class. I was just hanging out in the gym, and there would be Indiana coming in, UNLV coming in, watching all these junior college guys. And there's this little junior in high school. Never played basketball really except a little homeschool. And they took interest. So Travis hooked me up with his AAU team. And he said my mom needed to sign me up for it. It ended up being the Indiana Elite. I met Eric Gordon, met his dad, still in contact with his dad. They haven't talked to EJ in a while. But my first rap song I ever heard with Eric Gordon, it was The Mob with Lil Wayne on a flight.
Crazy.
On the hill in Arkansas. We went to the best of the summer. Played against OJ Mayo. I was in the gym when Derrick Rose, OJ Mayo, and Derrick Rose all played each other in ABC or big time Reebok. When OJ hit that three, got fouled at the end, won by 1 point. Yeah, it was crazy. not playing any ball, little tiny bit of high school ball, to go to playing with these guys that are on the floor. Like we went to North Carolina, playing Bob Gibbons, playing against Michael Jordan's kids. And I only had one season of junior, of little tiny high school basketball, in the middle of the
So was that your senior year in high school?
My senior year following that summer of AAU in Carbondale High School. I really, really played well. I committed. I had Nebraska, Butler, and Southern Illinois was my top three. Looking back at it, I should have went to Butler with Brad Stevens and all them.
With Brad, right? Yeah, big time. There was a guard in our league that played for Brad. I ended up becoming teammates with him at Moncton, but he played for the Storm one time too. Remember that guard? What was that guard name?
Sean Van Zandt.
What was it? Van Zandt, right? Yeah. Sean Van Zandt. Ooh, he was a dog, man. Shout out to him, man. Man, that boy was a bull. Goodness, man, that's cool, man. So, it sounds like, man, you traveled a lot early before even getting to, where you are now in your career. And that's dope, man, because I think that was what kind of attached us and being close when we were teammates, was the fact that the little things we had in common. I only played my senior year, so I played 1 year in high school too. And it's just so crazy how it looks like where you took your journey. And you ended up in a good spot now, and now it looks like you got a lot in common with playing with all of these dynamic guards, man. You got Frank Nitti on your team. You didn't play with Derrick Rose, and so you kind of used to these athletic, springy guards.
Man,
that just
we were
exciting.
playing that Adidas Mag Classic back when, who was the coach of Indiana back then when Eric Gordon was decommitted to Illinois? I forget. He ended up coaching at OK City Thunder. Ralph Sampson. Ralph Sampson was in the gym. And, he wasn't supposed to be there. It was April, not recruiting season. But Ralph Sampson's up in the bleachers, and Derrick Rose comes over the top. They run this the back eye, the 3-2 zone, comes up the screen for me in the middle, and he leaves from that weak side wing. They throw the lob over the top, and I remember I made ballerslife.com back in 2006 for getting dunked on by Derrick Rose.
Go get it, right? And look at them now. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, I know that's trippy, man. So now let's fast forward just a little bit into how you started your pro career. So you finished at your D2 school in out there in Southern Illinois, and now you're trying to look to go pro. What ended up happening after school?
School coach, assistant coach at Southern Illinois, got a head coaching job at D2 school. Left to follow him. Just made some bad choices in my year there, and ended up falling down into Memphis high school with a guy named Scott Robinson, who was a grad under Calipari, and he was friends with Penny Hardaway and a guy named Thaddeus Young, who's in the NBA.
Thaddeus Young, yeah, he's a killer too.
Those hips, Mike. He could pivot. Like he would pump fake you and just swing that opposite foot. So I started hooping with him at a little tiny college called Crichton. It was called Victory, kind of near Christian Brothers down there, in the muck of Memphis. And I really fell back in love with basketball. Started making some better decisions that, made me fall from the Division I NCAA graces. Started living a little better. Started taking, the New Testament class, at Victory University, and hooping with Thaddeus at night. And that coach I mentioned, Scott Robinson, offered me the NAIA scholarship for my fourth year of eligibility, and that's where I met the guy that we both know well, Coach Joe Salerno, up here in Canada, where I'm at now.
Yes, sir, Joe Salerno's. You know it. Shout out to Joe, man. Joe's a champ, so I want you to get into that because I missed out on that boat. But, man, I think we had a great time that 1 year that we played together out there in Canada, man. And then you end up getting you one a couple years later.
We went back and we ran that Houston Rockets, that 21 series, that strong sit-down guard, that lead guard, that guard that brings up in slot, that trailer big, run that middle position, and your best four-man left slot, your best shooter in that left dead corner. Just let those three players play that little offense. Yep. We won a whole we won 12 straight games, I think, to start the season. We didn't have an offense. We didn't run the same play ever twice in a game, I don't think. I don't think we ever ran the same action. Outside when we got bogged down, we ran a little flex action. But other than that, it was all just slow 21 series that Mike D'Antoni really instilled with the Rockets. And Eric Gordon made a killing off that too, by the way.
Yes, he has, man. Woo, big time knockdown shooter. Man, Joe Salerno's a hell of a coach, though, man. I mean, I told him that back when I played for him, you could just tell. And honestly, just to kind of get off just a little bit of the subject, what I'm doing today as far as coaching, man, I took a lot of that stuff from the year that I played for him. And just like I watched a lot of our film after the fact, and I really appreciate it more.
Love of synergy. That dude was on synergy every single day of practice. He'd come in showing particular clips, only certain players, sit the whole team down together after practice, show me 2 or 3 clips. He ran synergy's whatever hotline number off the hook. That man had clips everything that championship.
I bet. And just broke all that film down to y'all individually. That's what's up.
Right, I'll tell you that, Mike Poole. I agree.
That was one of your teammates, right?
Halifax. We played them in a 7-game series on a championship run, and he broke down all 3 guards. Like, hey, if he goes right 68% of the time, Synergy's telling me he's going to settle for a pull-up jumper at 33% off the dribble. He goes right and finishes to the rack for getting fouled 68%. Mike Poole, only left. And for a 7-game series, we took Mike out. We find out what Carl English and Big Baby were doing. And he would just probe Synergy for these like repetitive stuff that these teams would do. I mean, we would annoy the shit. We would just annoy them by taking that away. And if you didn't have like a flowy offense, if you were a real stagnant team, Synergy would be a real problem for you.
Yeah. Yep, I love that. So I'm when we hang up on this, I'm gonna Google that so I can figure that out, man. But all right, well, we're gonna move into exactly what this subject was about today, and that's the expectation versus reality. So right now you're in reality and you got some expectations. So for you right now, this is what I call contract season, because we're in the month of July and in the summer, but it's also AKA stressful season for a lot of these pros out here, man. So I want you to give us just a little insight on what it's like for you right now at this moment, searching for the next gig.
Taking some patience. I had a really good financial contract, my last one, best of my career so far. I hit a high. Definitely set the benchmark, for what I think I'm worth. And now coming in with COVID hitting that, I realized that benchmark may not be possible again. And so trying to figure out where to settle my feet. I've had several offers come through that just fall way beyond, like, ridiculously below what I made, but still above what I made year one. So trying to figure out where to reset my value. Right. Because even the league that I was in, the SBL Taiwan, just restructured their salary cap. It is significantly lower than what I made when I was there. So even to get, they don't start till January. So right now I'm finding myself with some offers that I would have taken in the past that I'm finding myself saying no to, in hopes of making a better decision for my family. Because I know I can carry a team. I can score over either one of these shoulders, Mike. If you're going to force me baseline, I'll fall over that thing and I'll hit it 50 pounds.
I know you got it. You was a horse back then. I know you got it.
If I had this skill at 18, I'd be on the projection for the NBA. But at 32, my projection is to make as much money as I can while I still have the physical means to do this. Exactly. So this off season has been very challenging because I've had a few offers I would have taken in the past and I would have felt security right now. Felt an unbelievable amount of security. Even if it would have been a lot less, the security would have felt just as real. But the financial benefits still would have been tough, for with long off season the following summer, because you're not saving money for the following summer, So it's an interesting time period right now, Mike. I can get into a little deeper like some of the agents and the specific clubs I'm going through, but just however you'd like me to talk. I can talk for a little bit about this.
No, you can give us a little insight. I know it's tricky though, man. That's why I try to tell these youngsters about how it's 80% business and 20% physical, if not more. If it ain't 85% business, and you're in a situation where you're a veteran, you have expectations of getting a certain amount of money because you have your worth. You've proven your worth from last season and the season before. So, you know, the process that you've gone through, you're deserving of what you're asking for. But now there's different circumstances. COVID-19 has kicked in, all this crazy
I
stuff.
like to head for a tax bracket, you know, that I know, you know, the same damage I can do on the floor, you know, I'd like to be able to do, you know, for my family. And I have done it over the past couple seasons. Now, you know, I'm in contacts with several different agents. You know, I'm signed to one specific agent, the Canada 3D with Teddy Toksevich, but I'm working also with a guy named Paul Kevin. I'm also working with another guy named Jeremiah Haylett, a few other local ones. You know, my European career would be interesting, but my European value is not going to be where it's at. Big money right now, I think, would be in the Asian markets or the Middle Eastern markets. And you really have to be careful how you divide up your money there, because a lot of your 80-20 will get stepped on by somebody else's 70-30, if that makes sense at all. So
yes, I want to elaborate on that real quick. Let me talk to you about that, because that is a very big subject right now that I think is going on that people need to understand. And that's what you're saying about how the next guy may not take what you are looking for, but he's taking it not only because he may not have seen that amount of money, or he knows that the lack of jobs may not be out there, but the biggest key for me is what I see a lot is a lot of these agents and GMs are contacting players directly through social media. And if you do not know this business, you can shortchange yourself. Here's an example really quick. A guy had told me, hey man, coach, I got this offer from such and such country, man. They're offering me $600 a month, 3 meals a day, and a round trip ticket. And I'm like, yo, like, so think about that. You don't think you should get a round trip ticket home, back and you know, going back and forth to the house? Like, that's automatic. 3 meals a day, yeah, that varies a little bit. But if you're making a certain amount of money, you can buy your own food. You can figure out the way you want to eat as far as your diet. Because I'm sure those 3 meals a day are probably terrible. Or in some hotel that you're staying in where the food is the same every day. The menu is the same. So that's a big deal when it comes to figuring out these deals and who can take from you. Because that's what it was for me. You know, I was like, I'm not leaving unless I'm getting this X amount of dollars. And it just started to drop. So, man, crazy. How are you handling all of that? So what's the deal? Do you think you're going to have a deal coming up shortly, or what?
I'm in talks with 3 different leagues right now. Second division Japan, a team in Egypt, and a team in Bahrain. I've turned down several offers in Portugal, one in South America. It just wasn't the financial means I was looking at. Some of these bigger deals, you know, there's several agents involved. I have one agent on Fiba. We can partner with people. Those people, you make sure that they both get 10%. Some leagues, you know, pay that 10%
right.
to the team, but if there's more people involved than have them truly work for you, you know, to truly go to bat, you know, truly answer the phone call from the coach in the middle of the night, go to bat for you, and you're sleeping in your bed, but you want the agent. So you need to make sure that agent feels somewhat invested. So what I've been doing is trying to make sure that the people that I have that know I'm with an agent, that my agent knows who I'm talking to, that all parties involved feel secure, including the ownership, that I'm going to handle myself the right way. But when I arrive, too, though, don't get it confused. I'll give anybody 30. But until then,
I'm
trying to play a little bit of, you know, just making sure the people involved understand the commitment that they're making for me. With these higher dollars, you know, I want the parties invested in me as well.
That's right, man. You know how it be sometimes. It be more money, more problems, man. The higher these contracts are, the greedier people can become. And then you got to figure out who you can trust. So it's good that you are, of course, I'm sure you learned through your journey. So now you're very transparent in everything and making sure everybody's on the same page and to make sure all of these people you're dealing with are working for you.
You know, I was going to pay her. She told me the team wasn't paying her. The team ended up paying her. And like it. So I've ran into issues like this before. It's a little bit tricky of the business. You are correct, 85%, because I can handle the push-ups and the fadeaways with Mike Martin all day long in the gym working out with him. But when you got to divvy up that money at the end of the day with 61 people, it gets a little hairy.
Yep, absolutely, man. So I got a question for you. I think a lot of people will want to know, when did you say to yourself, and what year was it that I said, man, you know what? I am a pro basketball player. Was that year 1, 2, 3, 4? What year was that for you?
When I thought I was a pro was year 1. I met Joe. Like I said, I was working on Thaddeus. I had all those things. But I went for a time, like 16 months, with like no real games on ESPN. Not playing. Just kind of playing in these low-level gyms. So once I signed in Canada and saw the level of competition in Canada, started hearing the boys' stories, started connecting with that random person from years ago, and I saw the network was there. My decision making was a little better than when I was an idiot in college. I felt like I was a pro year 1. I knew I could get back on the path at that point. So when Joe pulled me out of the muck, I knew I had a chance to do it. And still, I didn't even make the best decisions moving forward. Year 2 or 3, I thought I was going to be done being a pro, to be honest. I wasn't making the money. The frustration was real. I was trying to get married. Year one was when I felt like I was back home.
Well, see, I'm glad you said that. So year 1 was it for you, and then you said in year 2 and 3 you basically felt like you were going to be done with it. And I felt the same. It's funny you say that. So I felt similar as far as being done with it early, just because of the frustrations that come with the game and come with the business, not even the game, just the business of it. But for me personally, it was year 3 where I felt like, okay, I'm here. I'm starting to figure it out, and I'm just talking about the business. Like, I think year 3 is when I started to really make a couple dollars to say, you know what? All right, I'm making some money playing basketball. Because my first deal was, I think, in Australia, and shit, I was on a work visa, so I only made like $200 a week. I was the lowest paid player in the league, but played like I was getting a bag. And that, to me, was just a part of the process that, of course, we don't understand. That's where mentorship to me comes in at, when you get to reference people that been there and kind of can help you throughout that journey. So I'm not mad at you feeling like that, and you might have been done, in that time, because it be like that, and you got to have tough skin to survive in this, and you being a personal friend of mine. But even if you weren't, I'm proud of you, bro. If I just knew your story and knew your name, because you went through all of the rigors, even though you're still going through it a little bit. It's a lot easier when you done made you a couple dollars playing this game, for sure. So I want to move into another question for you. And as far as you playing this game and being overseas, what was one of those spots that you said, man, I enjoy this place. This is a place I'll come back to. I'll possibly even bring my family. Where would you want to, what place would that be?
As far as the country itself, not necessarily, this is where I see myself playing basketball for the rest of my life. Just the country where I enjoyed myself the most was Ecuador. I found myself down in Ecuador all the time, and south side of the Amazon. I played in South America a little bit. I played in Dominican, played in Argentina, but still felt, a little bit touristy in Dominican. Argentina was super flat, more cattle, and more like Oklahoma than I thought South America. I was like, not expect Argentina to look like that. But I show up to Ecuador, and it's the jungle. It's spiders. It's dirt roads. It's the native people. It's the undergrowth. It looks like Jurassic Park type vegetation. I saw like 7 or 8 volcanoes on the outside of the Amazon. Our owner took us on all the cultural. We went into the Amazon, went through hundreds of acres of banana fields, went through little waterfalls in the middle of the jungle. Just it was a small city, maybe 100,000 people. In the middle of Ecuador. It wasn't touristy at all. You had to drive 7 hours from the nearest big city from the international airport to find this place. It was just a beautiful. The culture was, we went to the equator, the monument. Actually, John Manship White, the guy that owns the Moncton Magic, this team here, we won our championship with. Shout out, his wife spent some time down in Ecuador. And when Joe re-signed me for actually this year, it was based off my performance in Ecuador. Me and Joe started reconnecting again. After those 2 or 3 years where I said I was going to fall away from basketball, me and Joe had a little bit of falling out as well, partially my fault. And we kind of reconnected, kind of started falling back a little bit of the game in Ecuador just because of the environment and people. And then that's when Joe kind of saw that change my game a little bit, more of a stretch five. And really, Ecuador gave me a possibility to stretch my game out. And yeah, it was a beautiful place.
Gave you that opportunity.
Kids run around the games, popcorn before every game. It felt like a really good high school atmosphere, even the basketball there. Really good high school atmosphere.
Wow, that's dope, man. I would say for me personally, it was Egypt was a place that I would love to go back to. Bring of course my wife and hang out there. Egypt, besides the basketball business of it, the town was kind of like what you're saying. It was very homely, like, you get to be around the people. And I know I shared a few like Egyptian stories on our Instagram, and it was cool to kind of just see myself, because I filmed a little bit when I was out there, and just seeing how rough I looked. I was like, damn, like, man, I look just like the locals, man. You know what I mean? I didn't stand out as much. And I like that feeling. I like to feel like I'm a part of the people and not just being out there as the American, and because you could become a target, man, in certain aspects of it. But Egypt, I think, was a beautiful place. Of course, the historic and the history of the pyramids in Cairo. I lived in Alexandria, which was off the water.
Right.
Woo, crazy.
Correct?
Great food. Yeah. Yep.
You remember?
Yep. Yep. So.
Yeah, he took last season.
Who? You talking about James Justice?
James Justice too. He was in it, but a guy named Nick McCory. He played in Canada for a little bit as well.
Oh yeah. Of course. I remember. I actually know what team Nick played for out there. I believe it was like Etihad or one of those teams out there. Somebody had talked to me about Nick being out there, man. I still keep in touch with a lot of those people in Egypt, man. Shout out to all my people in Egypt, man.
The Storm up in Canada. The Storm with a lot of people, bro.
I know it. I remember that was that run we had. That was Nico Corey was a point guard. I remember. Yeah, we had a nice, that year we just got beat up, man. That's all it was. Injuries caught us at the end, and we just couldn't recover from it, man. Remember, B-Rob went down in the middle of the season. Sammy wasn't healthy at times, so it's just that kind of hurt us. Mike Williams was a killer, but Mike was hurt a little bit too.
Did you see
Mike was struggling with his Achilles.
CBA China, a 71-point game.
Absolutely. Of course I did. Of course. That was all over social media, man. In the NBL, in the Summer League.
That dude was crazy.
B-Rob's a killer. Yeah, man. You know how B-Rob is, man. B-Rob is a walking bucket, man. Shout out to B-Rob. But I got a question for you, man. How long do you see yourself playing this game? How long do you see it? Do you see yourself, so you're in year 7, do you see yourself really pushing it to 10 years, 15 years? How long do you see yourself playing this game?
I'm 32. I think I can play till maybe 5-6 more years. I want to say at a level of money where I could feel, hey, I'm worth this. I deserve this. Have a little bit of, because if you're not the right amount of cocky, I'm coming for the bag. So I feel like.
Yeah, that's right.
I can tell an owner, hey, you better swipe that card. For another 5 years, like I feel like I can still drop my shoulder into anybody, Shaq included, and fade away and score. So I think I got 5 years left. My money has slaughters. But other than that, I changed my diet a little bit. I'm lighter. Really watching out Tim Duncan.
Good.
7 years in the NBA, kind of like his training exercise. I got my trainer. I mentioned in the first sentence. I hired an NHL here in Summerside, Canada, and he reached out to a Spurs trainer he knew and got Tim Duncan's personal workouts his last 3 years with the Spurs, and so I've been doing kind of that kind of stuff.
Amazing.
Just really looking to
Great job.
Yeah,
bro.
I think if I can do it right, and get on the vegan and do the right amount of push-ups, I think I got 5-6 more years with making the money I want to do before I start falling back to maybe year one money and, start calling you and see what me and you are going to do, Mike.
Shout out to you, man, on the vegan swag, man. That's us too, man. We GGA vegan over here too. So that's awesome, man. And way to figure it out, and those are the things that you got to do. Sometimes it don't be about, dig into what kind of skill set I can add or that. It's just really be about taking care of your body when you get older. Everything is muscle memory. So repetition, great body, taking care of yourself, you be good, man. That's awesome, bro. So before you shut it down, man, before we shut it down, what would you tell the younger self of Nick Evans?
Just to settle down, coming from that homeschool environment to go in Division I to, a ton more sports. I left out. We played Duke on ESPN, and the whole entire town knew me. Just kind of went, I had no friends, so I was on a ton of, years. If I could just settle in, just settle in, put the down the gym. I would tell myself to settle in and continue to take it as seriously as I took it. I took it seriously, but I didn't control the outside of the gym very well. I gave effort. I always had the motor. But I'd tell myself just to settle in. Quit being so anxious. Quit being so quick twitchy. Put the work in. Put the hours in. Just fall in love with the process. Yeah, I need a little bit more. I was going to make what I made here. Took me out a little bit.
Yep. I would say for myself would be to play more basketball. When I was young, I didn't play under the whistle as much. So I think for me, as my younger self would have just been say, hey, play everything. Play from freshman all the way to senior and play the AAU, all that stuff, and give yourself a chance. So, but that's dope, man. That's dope. Advice to the youth and advice to the aspiring pros of today.
For the youth, learn how to yo-yo. I know it's a business, but the youth, you're not worried about that. You still have to impress somebody to get into the business. I would say learn how to chew gum and yo-yo. Learn how to annoy your parents with dribbling the ball too much outside. Fall in love with riding your bike to the gym. Walk to the gym. Play the NBA on the Xbox. Fall in love with the basketball itself. Don't worry
process.
About
That's right. That's right.
Fall in love with it. Get your skill set. You keep the hours. You can't. It's muscle memory. Like at 38, we're not doing the same thing when we were 16. But we weren't doing most guys weren't out there learning the muscle memory at 16. It's not going to take over at 38. So put in the muscle memory time, and don't worry so much about the D1 offers. You get your body and your skill right.
Okay, I love that advice. What about for these pros? The guy that want to be a pro, he wants to be a pro tonight. He didn't. Hold on, I got you, because I ran into this issue not too long ago. I was down in Las Vegas. I had a few young guys on the first session of that team I was coaching, and maybe 60% of them were straight junior college guys who thought they were ready to go. So what kind of advice do you give those cats, man? Those aspiring pros that, to me, don't have enough experience yet.
Get the experience. I wouldn't tell you to set the market too low. Because some of these higher level pros be getting mad at you for accepting these kind of lower deals. But if you're a year one guy, it is the business. You have learned how to yo-yo now. You do have the muscle memory to a certain respect. You have to go out now and dogfight. You're going to fight your best friend for $2,500. You're literally going to fight your best friend for $2,500 in practice. And you got to be somehow able to go home and sleep with them the next day. Like Xbox together. Realize who your competition is, and realize that your competition can also be the guy to get you the job next time too. Understand the personality side of this. That has a lot to do with the pros, not the high school kids, but the pros, the guy looking to turn that next corner. Make sure you can sell yourself and carry yourself a certain way that allows you to go from that $1,600 a month to where your worth. To develop the other skills outside of the basketball arena, because now it's time to hone those business skills. Show me the money, Jerry.
I would just say, AKA, be professional. And again, a lot of guys need to really, really hear this right now. Understand how to carry yourself as a pro. That's what's going to take you a long way. That's what's going to keep these relationships after you're done dribbling the ball. The kids are going to love you. People are going to remember how you made them feel. That's what I think these aspiring pros, even youngsters today, learn how to be a professional at a young age. If you do that, it'll take you a long way. Okay, period.
He held that to me in 2006, right after Derrick Rose dunked on me. It might have been the NBA, Mike.
I dig it. Yeah, people don't know you 6'10" with a wingspan and a jumper too, and the motor. There was one thing I said, man, this boy, he could dunk with his right hand, his left hand. He got it all. That's tough. Okay, so to end it, where does Nick Evans see himself in the future? Coaching, giving back. What are you doing? What are you doing after the ball stops dribbling?
I was in Albania this year, and I took my son to a boxing match because it was
Little Benny.
Yeah, we were just bored, and no practice. Sunday, day off. So this boxer gets up and he starts fighting, and he passes out in the ring. Poor guy passed away right in front of me.
No way.
Right in front of me and Benny.
Damn.
Cardiac arrest. The guy didn't even punch him. He just dropped in cardiac arrest. And they didn't perform CPR fast enough, Mike.
Wow.
And Buddy lost his life that day. I want to serve in the hospital system, Mike. Both my parents are medics. I want to rob death one of these days. I want to be a high school coach. I want to be involved in coaching. I definitely want to teach some kids how to yo-yo. But whether it's surgical technician, EMT, LPN, I'd like to say I robbed death one time. Me and you have to sit in the classroom, and I got to learn where this muscle attached and why this drug, takes the effects of an overdose away, and how to insert the needle at what angle. If that's the new basketball court, and we both have to sit down with this book, we got to take this test in 6 months and go. The idea of robbing death will make me sit in that library. So maybe a grad assistant, Mike. Maybe a Division I grad assistant, while I get the skills to enter the hospital system.
Man, that's amazing, bro. That's very, very touching, bro. And I remember you were talking about that before, back in the day. About that's when I think you wanted to just go right into the nursing school and that kind of stuff. But that's awesome, bro. Man, that is amazing. But again, Nick, it's been a pleasure, bro, to see you, to have a convo that we haven't had in a little while. I know we've been texting back and forth for a little bit with your stuff going on as far as your business, but
I appreciate it.
To have you on here, man, and have you on the Players Forum, I really thank you. We're going to have you again. I wanted you to kill it this year. We wish you the best of luck, and to just go do your thing, man, and stay in touch.
Mike, I'm going to need you to call me after this, bro. I want to get to Egypt, too.
I got you. That's a fact. I got you. Holla at me.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. It's been Nick Evans, the Players Forum. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. See y'all on the next one. Peace.
Mike, I appreciate you impacting the youth below us, man. You are making an impact on kids' lives. I've been following you since you got out of basketball, and you are golden for these kids. That they don't know how lucky they are, and they really need to pay attention and keep impacting what you're doing, Mike. Don't slow down.
This podcast series is part of the Great Gain Athletics, Inc. organization and is brought to you in part by the creative producers at the Sultry Group. There's an art to connecting souls. Digital media content creation for the arts and souls.